Okay. Good evening, classmate. My name is Cristina Uriola, and I'm going to present this video alongside with my colleague Jorge Espinosa. Well, Jorge, I would like to give you or share with you my viewpoint regarding those videos. I can find, in generally speaking, some mistake in those videos: pronunciation, subject-verb agreement, and vocabulary usage. On video number one, the most relevant mistake was vocabulary user and subject-verb agreement. You can see that the boy was trying to use or apply incorrect verb in their oral presentation. For example, he have to use the word play, but instead he used the verb touch. So the correct way of saying is I play the guitar, I play the ukulele. However, I noticed something relevant is that the boy tried to make an attempt to correct the way of his vocabulary. I may find that relevant that when he tried to say something, he know that he was saying bad, but he tried to say it again in the proper way, at least in some occasion in the video. Now, on the second video and the third video, something that I found that was very hostile vocabulary usage, and even in the third one. The second to the fourth video, I found vocabulary usage as the main mistake, and also it was influenced by the frequency of speaking. Some of the students in the video were speaking very low, and the pronunciation was very difficult to understand because words were very incoherent. One example I can mention is video number 4. The conversation between those two girls was really hard to understand, even for me. And video number 5, I find a slight mistake of pronunciation. However, I think that was the best video at all. Now, that's are like my general conclusion regarding those videos. So tell me what you think about it.
Okay, good evening, Christina. Good evening, everybody. So, as you said, I found so many errors, many mistakes. Most of them were in pronunciations and vocabulary and grammar structure. For example, in the first video, the boy, as you said, is trying to explain how to touch, but it's not to touch, it's to play, okay? I will say we play the guitar, we play the piano, okay? It's not touch the ukulele, it's play the ukulele. Also, he used another word. He tried to say chord as chord, but it's strings.
Okay.
It's not chord, it's strings. And he had many mistakes in pronunciation. For example, with a T sound, he used in the verb need, he don't say need, he say need, it's need. And the same when he tried to speak about the 3 chord, it is a sound. Instead, he used 3, like T. It's not 3, okay? 3 is what is outside, maybe in our backyard or the forest. It's 3,
Okay.
3
Okay.
string in
I
this
got
case.
it. I got it. So let me make you a question. From video 2 to video number 4, which were the common mistakes that you find on those videos?
Okay, in grammar structure.
Mm.
For example, in the video number 2, the girl and the boy, they are trying to speak in the past tense and they don't know how to speak. So they they did some coherent expression, but incoherent argument. For example, the girl is trying to ask when when the boy celebrated his birthday, and she said how many times. Okay, and the boy doesn't know how to answer. Even he used, instead of yesterday, he used the Spanish word ayer. Okay, it was yesterday. They
So,
didn't know how to use the word ago. They
mm,
don't know how to speak in past tense. And in that moment, their expression and their sentences are incoherent.
okay, on that case, on that video in particular, we can see that there was interference of the mother tongue and the conversation. Okay, they were switching from English to Spanish in some cases in the conversation. Okay, that's a relevant point to mention. And what about the other videos?
Okay. In the number three, we have also some grammar structure mistake. For example, in preposition of time, the boy tried to say in the afternoon. Instead, he said at the afternoon. It's not at the afternoon, it's in the afternoon. And he didn't know the correct word. In this case is rush time, okay? He said, I hate traffic at the afternoon. That sentence was wrong because is I hate the traffic in rush hour. Okay, got it?
Got it. Okay, so video 4 and video 5.
Let me explain about the video number four. In the video number four, the English was too basic. Okay, I think if they are students in the university, they have to improve their vocabulary. The English they try to speak in those oral presentation was about for elementary school, third or fourth grade. That's all
That
I can say about all the videos.
Well, that's very relevant. So we can go to a final conclusion that some of the common mistakes were pronunciation, subject verb agreement, vocabulary usage. However, I would like to add one number 4 in our list, uh, interference in the mother tongue. Something that I saw in the video is that the student has difficulty to speak English is actually because the first language is Spanish, and maybe the linguistic code is a little hard for them to shift from saying something, thinking something in Spanish, and try to say it in English. Okay, and another factor is that there was a slight side of fear in some students when they try to speak. If you can notice, there are some videos, some students are like try to keep in silent instead of speaking. Now, seeing all this, I think that we can go to the main feedback. So I'm going to pass to show you a quick presentation about it. Okay. Well, here, if you wish, you can talk about what kind of feedback you would like to provide for the pronunciation. What kind of
Okay,
feedback you will give to those students?
okay. To help those students, it's very important to emphasize they have to learn how to pronounce the sound. First
Mm,
of all, is the sound. Even when we know how to pronounce it, we are going to be able to pronounce correct words and as a result, correct sentences or statements. Maybe they can record their voices, listen carefully, and correct the mistake by themselves.
Okay. Well, regarding to the pronunciation, I would like to recommend them that use a neutral voice, keep simple phrases, and try to get a voice talking on words because that's the maybe the worst part that that you talk on words and cannot speak properly or say the meaning or the idea you have properly. And well, that worked for this pronunciation. Now, for the vocabulary usage, I would like you to see with me this quick video because it's actually told about like basic word that we mistakes the regarding to the sound. Okay. Okay, if you can see from this short video, it shows the mistake that people use when they use a word in inappropriate way. However, it's also related to to the third mistake that we find, that is subject verb agreement. For example, the video number one, when we talk that the boy used the verb touch instead of the verb play. And I would like to recommend on those topic that a student first try to think what they want to say, and then try to say it in a neutral way. Okay, so the speaking frequency don't be incorrect. Okay, and second, regarding to the vocabulary uses, keep it simple. Don't try to find complex words. Instead, try to use a simple word with a lot of meaning that can express the idea that they want to say. What about your opinions?
Okay, previously you mentioned about the problem with the tongue, okay, with the mother tongue.
Mhm.
What I suggest that we should learn English in a context, okay, not translating word directly. I know that many times we have to do it, but we should try to learn it. First of all, think in English and learn the vocabulary in the natural or the native context. In that way, we are going to replace those problems, those mistakes.
That's a valid point. Actually, that's a very valid point. We can try to understand the English and the context instead of translating, and that will be a very well feedback for those students that many of them maybe were thinking and translating those words, but instead, if they try to understand it in the context, the conversation or the result of that video will be improved. Well, that will all. I hope that you enjoy this analyze, dear classmates and professor. Well, Jorge, thank you so much for your time and have a good night.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.